All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Reseller Clickbait Podcast, episode 122. I'm here with Ken, SSK Promo, Mr.
Hey,
Bill,
hey,
Seasonal Santa. I'm Corey from Grams and Pops Vintage. And today, Ken's late, and I'm angry.
I'm not, I was late.
Ken's an
I don't
hour
think
late.
you were an hour. It was fall back. The
No.
time changed, Corey.
No,
It was
I
fall
was
back.
actually here an hour early, thinking we were recording an hour earlier than we were. So I got plenty of time to reflect and think of ways to throw Ken off today. But
Which
we've
is
got a
not
good
hard.
show.
We do. And Merry Christmas. Merry
No,
Christmas, Corey.
no,
Yeah,
no.
wait. What? Halloween's
We have
over.
Thanksgiving.
But Halloween is,
Hey,
Mariah
we've talked
Carey.
about this, that Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays. Like Christmas is up
Yes,
there, but Thanksgiving is one of my favorites, and we're not skipping Thanksgiving.
because you're a food guy. Well, we'll be talking about Thanksgiving in just a couple of weeks.
The day after
On
Thanksgiving, we can go full on Christmas, and I'm with you.
Oh man, I've been full on Christmas, cranked out the
Since
Christmas
last Christmas.
playlist since last Christmas, pretty much. Yeah. Well, here we'll bring it in. Here's the Santa Beard update right there. Here's what we got going on right now, and we are very close to bleaching this out and really getting the
There it
Santa
is.
season going.
No,
But
we'll
yeah,
get holly jolly like the day after Thanksgiving, but until then,
well, plan on a little holly jolly each episode from me anyway,
no,
from this side of the screen. Or man, do we record this in stereo? Am I like in the left ear and you're in the right ear? Does that?
I don't think
I don't
so.
know.
We could switch
Oh,
it up.
okay.
I can make it that way.
We should do that, and then people could just turn down your side, like turn down the right side,
Well,
and
not the
just
same
listen.
people.
Just they could just listen to me the whole time. But yeah,
Isn't that what we do
I'm excited.
anyway?
Well, you pretty yeah. We Mariah Carey is out of mothballs, and the Christmas season is, man, what a brilliant thing. That's, I think of, as a Christmassy guy, I'm going to try to record like a top number one Christmas song.
How are
Like,
you?
and then you're just there for the rest of the rest of your life, that you get the whole Christmas season, go out on tour.
No,
And
I'm actually looking forward to the cold nights and the hot cocoa and the sit around and watch Christmas movies, and our youngest just moved
yeah,
back in because she's going to start doing her student teaching in our hometown.
okay.
So she moved back in. So I'm actually looking forward to this Christmas season, but it's a season.
Wow.
It's not a year
You
round thing. It
you
can't
you heard
start
it
till
here.
after
You heard it here
Thanksgiving.
first, folks. Corey is getting festive. I'm rubbing off on Corey.
I do have
And
candy canes to put in the hot cocoa. Like I'm ready.
oh
It's
yeah,
just
well,
not till after Thanksgiving.
it's still the fall season, the autumnal season, if you will. And
Oh,
yesterday
it's
was
colder than crap
wood
here. It's
cutting
cold.
weekend at the cabin, which means Jill stops at Apple Hill Donuts. And for the morning before we go out and start working, we have apple cider donuts. But she bought me a new gallon of Apple Hill cider, and
Gallon.
so um,
I wonder how many
I am
gallons of apple cider a normal
cider.
person drinks in a year. None?
Probably not as many as I do.
Like a
Um,
pint?
oh shoot, I think this is at least my fifth gallon. I think this new one, I think I've drank 4 gallons so far, but mostly with my Coke Zero. So I am looking forward to hot chocolate. Hot
I am
chocolate.
too.
I love that, but
I've been trying to be a little bit easier on the junk foods and the sweets though. I've been trying to cut a little bit of weight because my feet don't like me being that fat. Like it's hard to walk on them. They don't like it. And we've done good so far. I'm like 29 pounds down in the last 2 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we're doing good with
Well,
it.
congratulations. How are you
Thanksgiving,
doing it?
well, just not eating as much garbage. I'm a snacker. So all day
Okay.
long I'm snacking on something and it's usually garbage. So we've just not been doing that. We've been usually like I'll eat something at breakfast and then like 2 or 3 things before lunch and then lunch and 2 or 3 things before supper and then supper and then I snack till bed.
Okay.
I'm just a grazer. But we've just
I'm
been
not.
doing like one good meal a day.
Yeah.
and try to cut out most of the snacks. And that's, I'm
'Cause
still
it
being
is the
lazy.
eating season. I'm sure we'll be talking lots about cookies and
I plan to
snacks and
put it
stuff.
all back
Well,
on at Thanksgiving.
and then oh yeah, Thanksgiving.
So I'm just
And
making room.
we'll talk about that with the
We got
holiday
Thanksgiving
live
live.
tour.
Yep.
Yes, that's coming up. Mark your calendars right now. Tentative date, or well, it's kind of the date, November the 20th, Wednesday, November the 20th. We're still
Coming up.
waffling with our guest. Oh, we got a phenomenal guest for the Thanksgiving show.
Yep.
Knows a lot about cooking. Always does a big spread. Not gonna tell you who it is yet. We're just gonna tease
17
it.
days
That's what they
away.
call a teaser. That's what they call a teaser here in the industry.
It's Breakdance and Judy.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Ooh, she does make a good spread.
There you go.
But let's back up a little bit before we get to the Christmas and the Thanksgiving. We did do the Halloween live tour. Our first show of the live tour season, and talk about phenomenal guests. We had Jess from Resell to Ride was on with us, with some background appearances from Xena. Xena was popping in every now and then.
Yep.
And we had
her UPS outfit.
Yes. She didn't change into her FedEx costume. I think that was a funny one that you had there. And Chad from Wolfman's Goodies was on with us as well.
Yeah, it was a fun show.
So if you want to check that show out, go back. It's under our live section. We don't post those as like normal, the regular videos, but it was a great show.
Speaking of Halloween shows, did you see Mo and Amy's Flippin' Fantastic Podcast episode?
I did.
How they did the trick-or-treaters come in?
I love that. The doorbell would ring and that was awesome. Who's here next? And you guys, I couldn't think of anything better than American Gothic for you and Teresa. That was about probably one of the best.
We're going to steal that idea for next year, except we won't put the pictures up. We'll actually get the people to come in and say hi for a minute.
Uh-huh. Oh,
we'll just leave them in the background and bring them in as the doorbell rings. It was a cool idea. It was a neat show to watch.
Yeah, very good show. Go check out Flippin' Fantastic Podcast. It normally they drop episodes on Fridays.
Every Friday.
Every Friday. And that's Mo 87 Official and Amy Beach by Repeat. And then they did their Halloween show. They doubled up this week. They had the Halloween show come out. And then on Friday, their episode, one of my good friends, or our good friends, Kristen, a rural squirrel, was on the show with them. So very cool. Go check those guys out, or those gals out, I should say. Jill's mom hates to be called guys. Like when they're at a restaurant or whatever, Jill and Nancy will be at a restaurant and it's like, can I get you guys anything else? And do I look like a guy? To you, it's like,
that's a dangerous question.
Yeah, she's not a fan of you guys. Can I get you guys anything else? But on the holiday, the Halloween live tour, we did some giveaways and stuff. I appreciate the chat was lively. The chat was fun. The show, was very well attended. I appreciate everybody checking it out. But shout out to AZ Cat Sue, who took down some Smarties, which was voted to be the best candy. At least, okay, it was voted between Smarties and candy corn. Which would you rather have? Smarties came out on top, but we did give away the candy corn. It should be en route. It should be en route. I'm
excited for that. But Teresa won the candy corn.
Yes, Teresa won the candy cane from over there at Grams and Pops. So how fitting. Candy corn. Oh yeah. Oh, see, candy canes. I got Christmas on my mind.
I already got candy canes.
Maybe I'll send you some candy canes too. Well,
those go great in a cup of hot cocoa.
And Linda Early took home some. Oh, I got another pack right here. Some dude wipes. Yeah, they weren't the Dumpkin Spice ones, but they're the fresh minty chill.
That was a fun conversation.
Yes.
as always with dude wipes.
So check out the, go back, watch that live episode. Thank you again to Jess from Resell Ride, Chad from Wolfman's Goodies, and stay tuned for Holiday Live Tour Thanksgiving edition. all about the food, all about Corey's favorite holiday.
Yeah, now we're talking.
And
I could get into that
so,
show. Like I'll show up early for that one too.
oh, good. Yeah, not an hour early. You don't need to be there an hour early. That was kind of ridiculous. Corey's messaging me. Let me know when you got the room set up. I'm like, man, I'm still in bed, dude.
Yeah,
What?
well, I'm sitting here an hour before time. I'm like, it's like 2 minutes till we record, but it wasn't. It was like 2 minutes until we should have got
It's
out of
like
bed.
62 minutes until recording time. So anyway, all of that with what do you got going on? Oh wait, what do you got go? Oh, I was going to ask you a question. Now I was going to say what you got going on, Corey, and then I was going to start my story. So I will.
Well,
I will.
let's do this a different way. Hey Ken,
Yes, Corey.
what you got going on?
Oh, I got all kinds of things going on here today. No, I'm excited. I got a Facebook Marketplace deal to do today. It's
Those are always fun.
yeah, from some stuff from a storage unit, and it's a set of weights, like Olympic
You're buying
weights
or
with the
selling?
bar. I'm selling on
Okay.
Facebook Marketplace. Shoot, I ain't gonna lift weights, Corey. Simmer down over there. I'm not trying to
Well,
get.
we were
in
talking about
shape.
getting in shape and little
Well,
trimmer. I thought maybe you were going to beef up for Santa season.
Well, that's yeah. I was going to say, if anything, I need to put on a few pounds to be ready for the Santa season. But no, this is it's a set of weights with the big metal plates. It's like an Olympic style set. There's I don't know 8 plates and the big the bar. I wouldn't even want to bench press the bar. It's like a big heavy Olympic style. And I was put them on Marketplace because I wanted to try to move them before I had to move them. Like I didn't want to have to clear them out.
Let them sit.
And so I got a buyer that I'm meeting with today. And well, I had another buyer lined up, but we couldn't hook up on the time. And they were like a couple hours away from me. So it's like they weren't going to be able to make it. So, and I had made a deal. They made me an offer, which was a decent offer because most of the offers I've had on them, with most all of the Facebook Marketplace things, it's you get those lowball offers. Yeah. Is this available? And then nothing. It's like, yes, it's available. And then it's like, what were you just curious? What was the point in even pushing the button and asking me? Yeah, but they're here. But I had this deal working and it was just fell through because of the timing and the guy had to drive so far and such. So, but very nice person to communicate with. But then yesterday I had, because I'm trying to have the unit cleaned out and finished for tomorrow morning that he's got somebody that wants to move in this week. And so this buyer just hit me up. Hey, is this still available? Yeah, it is available. They're like, can I pick them up tomorrow? I was like, sure,
Yes,
let's get this worked out. And then they came back with, do you like cash or do you do Venmo or PayPal? And I'm like, well, I can do all three, which is ever the most convenient. And it's like, sure, let's do Venmo. And so I'm paid already. So which is very cool because I mean that's a very trusting buyer to
Teresa does that from time to time. She'll make a deal on Marketplace and she'll pay him in Venmo before she picks it up. It always makes me nervous because it just takes one to not show up and just keep your money. Now, I think Venmo has some protection. You could probably get your money back, but I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to, before, probably right after we're done recording, I want to make sure I transfer that money out. Of course, it's in my account now. It shouldn't be a problem. I'm always a little leery about that and hesitant, but hey, and then I'm just going to have them meet me at the unit and we'll just load them right out of there. And so I don't even have to touch them.
When you're working on a Facebook deal like that, trying to buy it, and they're like, well, if you Venmo me right now, I'll hold it. Otherwise, I have 4 other people who want to come look at it.
Yeah.
I usually just tell them, sell it. I'm not going to pay you right now. Like I could be there in the morning. You can't wait that long. But I get it because we've sold on Marketplace and half the time they say, well, I'll be there in the morning. They just don't show up.
Yes.
So I get it, but it does make me a little leery.
I had a person on a Facebook Market deal that we were going to agreed on a time. We were meeting a public meetup, and then they're like, "Okay, I'm on my way," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm here in my black truck, in the parking lot," and I'm 5 minutes out, and then 5 minutes goes by, 10, 20, 25. I go to message them, and it's like the conversation has been deleted and
Block.
unblocked.
Yep.
It's like, what? Okay, it's okay if you don't want them after we've made a deal, but don't just, don't be that way. Don't be that
Just kids
buyer.
trying to get the old people to drive around and sit in parking lots and wait. It's a prank.
So I'm got that to do this afternoon, and then a couple things other things that I have to move out. I'm just gonna take my trailer down there and pick them up while I'm there, and that unit will be done. Got some really good stuff out of there, so I'm excited about a lot of that. So
speaking about moving stuff, Teresa, we didn't source this week really at all. It was a busy week for us anyway, so we didn't do much sourcing. But then I found out we went to town to trick or treat with the grandkids.
Yeah.
And Teresa,
what did you dress up like?
I dressed up as my dad, I guess, because I just looked like this.
Okay.
So we went to go trick or treating, but she drove past the town where the kids live.
Okay.
Like, where are we going? She's like, oh, I got to go pick some stuff up. We got there. She had spent like $400 on the local auction house. I didn't know she bought anything.
Uh-oh.
So we pull up and I said, well, what is it? Do you need my help loading it? Or should I just stay in the car and you go grab it? She's like, well, I might need help for a minute. And we go in those big steel racks we have for inventory.
Yeah.
There was 2 of them full. Like, not the racks, but the racks were full of stuff that she had bought. We actually couldn't get it all in the car. We had to pull stuff back out of the car and kind of repack it because we didn't think we were going to get it all in.
Yeah.
So she bought an entire carload from the auction house, and I still don't know what she bought.
She'd start a new segment, secret sourcing with Teresa, secret sourcing with Grams over there. So was it good stuff though? I mean, did she make a good buy?
I mean, I've seen very few pieces of it as we were loading it, so I don't know.
Mostly in boxes or bags?
Most of it was in boxes. The way that auction house does it is they kind of bundle stuff together, so they make a whole lot of stuff, and then they auction the lot. So it's like a storage unit. 80% of it's garbage, but you're buying it for one item.
Yeah.
So
they
I think we'll probably end up throwing a bunch away.
Like a live auction, they're kind of just doing box lots, but as an online auction. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
so we'll see what she got. I don't know if she's got her money's worth in there or not. I don't know. I have to trust her on
it. Any one piece at all that you thought, okay, there might be some potential here?
I don't know if you've seen in our episodes those Panini sticker books we were selling for a while. They have like basketball and cars and monsters.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Panini. When you said that, the first thing I thought was like the little grilled sandwich. Is that that's a Panini, right?
It is.
Where they, and it has the little grill marks on it. You get it like maybe a ham or cheese. I was thinking, why are you selling sticker books?
She found a bunch of those
sandwiches.
Sticker books, the Panini sticker books, but they were old ones. They're vintage. They're like Mask and and stuff like that, like the Mask characters.
Okay.
So Mask she found some of those.
Like superheroes?
No, they're more like army characters and stuff, kind of like pre-GI Joe type stuff.
Oh, okay.
Kenner
Mask. Okay, like the cartoon or the whatever Mask. Okay, I know what you mean. Yep. I know what you mean.
So she got some of those. I think some of those are worth $50 or $40 and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think there's some stuff in there.
Okay.
I just don't know. Like the car is still full. It's been since Thursday. The car's still full. We haven't unloaded it all.
If we know Graham's history, every time that Pops poo-poos one of her deals, she gets to just throw it right back in his face and go, see, I told you so.
Which gives me incentive to poo-poo every deal because I want her to make money, but at the same time.
Well,
no, I wasn't thrilled about it because I'm always worried with Teresa. Teresa has a tendency sometimes to list stuff just because she has it. She doesn't, like, it's here. I might as well list it. I hate to throw it away. Like, it does have value, but there's no sell-through rate. Like, she has a tendency to list stuff just because she has it. So we're really trying hard not to do that.
Okay.
So I worry when we get box lots like that.
With you working on your inventory and cleaning out, that's how you get over, that's how you get behind on your inventory and have to go through and find stuff that's been sitting there for a year or 2 years or whatever. So
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see what's all in there and what value it brings back. I'm sure she'll make money on it. I mean, she's a good picker. She knows what she's looking for, but we just have a lot of junk in there. So we're trying to be picky about listing.
I'm hashtag team Grams. So I know that there's going to be something good. And I can't wait for you to be on a show here, either on your channel over on Grams and Pops or here on the podcast and go,
Eating crow.
Teresa was right. Look at this great item that she got. No.
I hope so. I do hope so. Like, I don't mind eating crow as long as I'm being paid for it. So if she gets a good deal there, I'm okay with it. But I haven't seen the good deal yet. Like, all I saw was a whole bunch of boxes, and most of the stuff I was seeing was just absolute garbage. But that's the way the box lots usually are.
Maybe that I just wrote down a note there. That might be the title of this episode: "Paid to Eat Crow."
We'll take it.
So
if it pays well enough, we'll take it.
Well, so when you said you didn't do much sourcing this week, but you did all your sourcing in one trip. When you're getting that much stuff, two big metal racks full and a whole entire car full in one trip.
Yeah. Man, so I guess we did get some stuff.
That's cool.
I mean, if they'd have had a dumpster there, we would have probably had a back seat full instead of a dumpster or a whole car full, back seat, trunk. Yeah. Like I had stuff I had to ride with, like in between my legs in the front seat. Like the floor was stacked up with stuff because we didn't have room to get everything in there.
That's my thoughts. That's a whole nother show.
That is not a very Christmassy thought, Ken.
It is not. It is not.
So what else you got going on?
I'm excited this week. If you follow me over on my channel, SSK Promo, I do Ken versus 10. No, Corey doesn't. I know Corey doesn't. There's a couple of you out there, I think, that follow me. Ken versus 10 that I do on Wednesdays, which is just kind of like anymore. It's been kind of like a chat show and stuff because I haven't been listing as much stuff on eBay, and which I normally would show 10 items that I'm going to be listing and see if I can sell them before the next week. But the last few weeks or so have been just me kind of chatting. But anyway, that's not what I'm doing. I am bringing Ken versus 10 to Whatnot over on Whatnot. It's not going to be a talk show or anything like that, but Ken versus 10, that's kind of catchy. It rhymes,
it does rhyme
something. But so this week I might be a little ambitious with my thoughts, but I am going to start doing Ken versus 10 over there, where I try to sell 10 items. Everything's centered around 10s, where I try to sell 10 items in 10 minutes. I'm going to have a countdown clock behind me so that the chat, the people can see, can I beat this time frame? And it'll just be a hodgepodge of items that I found in the storage units or things that I have sourced or there's just going to be all kinds of stuff. But I'm also going to do it on the 10s. I'm doing 2 shows a day, once at 10 a.m. and then once at 10 p.m. And which I think will get different audiences for, you'll have the morning crowd and the afternoon crowd. And I'm still kind of fine-tuning some stuff in my brain, which I got to get this fine-tuned because it's just a couple days away that I started. I got the show scheduled, and I lost my whole train of thought there.
Well, let me help you. If you've been watching this show for a while, you're probably thinking right now that Corey thinks this is a bad idea.
Okay. Yes.
But I'm kind of on board with this. And I'll tell you why.
Really?
Because anytime that you could bring all your unproductive activities onto one platform and consolidate those, I think that's a good thing. I think this is an efficiency move forward for you. And
that seemed like a backhanded compliment, Corey. a little bit.
Did you catch that?
So I'm trying. I did. It actually just punched me right in the throat. But what I'm trying to think of a little bit of the format. I think maybe one show, or I'm going to try some different stuff as I go along. Either just having like, open up a box. What's in here? Let's sell this. Are you interested? And try to do this in the 10-minute format. And then maybe like the evening shows would be more of like a structured show of, I'm going to be selling all of this type of item. I'm going to try to move along all graphic tees, or this is all electronics, or this is all some sort of like category items.
I
And
like
but
that it gives the show some kind of a theme, though. I mean,
yeah,
every show kind of carries over that Ken versus 10 type theme. So I think that's probably
yeah, and I'm still working out things, but I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to try it. It's something different. I mean, it'll either go over well or
or
not.
not.
The thing that I'm
Yeah.
or not. No, it's gonna go. It's gonna go great, Corey.
You no,
Um,
you nailed it. I mean, you got all your bases covered. It's either going to work or it's not.
yeah, yeah.
I like how you're thinking all the way through.
It's well. One of the things I need to do is I need to figure out then how to market it, how to get it out there. I'll always do like anytime I'm having a whatnot show, I'll do like an Instagram story or whatever and put it out there. And that probably brings some people, and I'll put the link on there that they can click on and come to the show. But and I know it's going to be a slow build.
Yep.
Hopefully, that people catch on, that they're like, oh, I can catch, Ken every morning at 10 o'clock and 10 o'clock at night.
Start building some
And
regulars.
because it's only 10 minutes, there'll be a little bit of build up at the beginning, and then it'll be like, oh, hey, let's start the clock. Let's see what happens. So I think it's not a big commitment on your time. There's a lot of shows. I mean, shows that we do where you're on for, an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours,
Yeah, I
which is
can't sit
great
in
when you
whatnot
got
that
all
long.
of the items. It is hard to check in, and I think this will be it's a quick thing. That if you're having your morning coffee or late in the evening, you can catch the show and not be there for hours.
Yep.
And so and then
Well,
and then it's going to be a competition. It's going to be like not only can I sell people 10 items, but it'll be an inclusionary thing of can we beat my death pile together? Can you help me? Can I help you get some really good deals? Can you help
I
me
have
sell some stuff?
two thoughts on that. One on the marketing side of it. I have some thoughts because we've been actually thinking about this week a lot.
Yeah.
Not marketing whatnot so much, but the marketing of it in general. But also on whatnot, we've kind of been jumping into whatnot, not selling. We're not selling on whatnot yet. Although we did
Okay.
have a brief moment of weakness where we thought about it for a minute.
Weakness. Okay.
But we actually hopped into some whatnots. And when we go on whatnot, we're usually scrolling through looking for shows that are not populated. They have 5-6 people in them. That's where we're
Okay.
because we're sourcing there
Yeah.
if we're on there.
Yes.
And we learned that you can haggle on whatnot. You don't have to sit in the auction, like use the chat. So the guy was selling vintage hats and I was buying vintage hats, but I didn't want to pay what he was starting at $5, which I thought was too much.
Okay.
And he was no selling a bunch of them. So we just used the chat and we haggled with him and we said, I want these 4 hats, but I want them at your $5 start. And he ran them and I got them. So you can haggle on whatnot. Don't be afraid to negotiate in the chat. Don't pay these whatnot people what they're asking. Stop it.
What kind of advice is that as a reseller?
That's kind of great advice. I'm a buyer.
Well, yeah,
I'm a reseller.
The buying
so I'm a
side, the buying side is good advice, but
people say the money's in the buy. You got to stop giving these whatnot people auction prices for their garbage. Negotiate. They want to sell it.
It's not garbage. It's not necessarily garbage.
No,
he was selling.
I say that just to rib you. I know it's not garbage, or I wouldn't have bought it. It was good stuff, and it had resale value. But
and if a buyer or a seller is not, if they're getting a lot of no sales, they're starting them at $5 and getting no sales. Mm-hmm. It's either that the hat wasn't quality or wasn't, a good hat, or the $5 was way too much. So yeah, I don't see anything wrong with saying, hey, if you're not selling these, I'll group these up and
their show, I think in his defense, it was just the fact that it was his first show and there was nobody, he didn't have anybody in there. You have to have the right person for the right item.
Yeah.
I mean, I was there to buy vintage hats, but not just any hat. I wanted decent hats.
Yeah.
And he had a few decent hats. I just didn't want to pay for them. Like I wanted them cheaper. So I just negotiated and people, I mean, if they're motivated enough to sell, to be on whatnot, a lot of the people are on whatnot because they're motivated to sell and they want to turn stuff fast, which means they're willing to take a cheaper price for it. So negotiate. And we did that in not just one, but 2 auctions this week on whatnot. And turned out pretty good. We got some good deals out of it. But
and it's all of that. That's just like going to a yard sale or whatever, and you see people that are getting, they get beat up all the time, like, oh, you should have paid this much for that item, or you knew that was worth a lot, and you ripped that lady off. Anytime a seller has every right to go, no, I'm not going to run these 4 hats at the $5 start.
Yeah.
They're worth more than that. But
When I
he
hear
wanted to
that
make
too,
the sale.
but
He knows what his buy cost is, and
every time I hear somebody says a reseller ripped off somebody, that confuses me, because that's all I'm hearing is, you did your job too well.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did.
That's literally my job, is not to rip you off, but to get the best price, the lowest price, and sell it for the highest price. I mean, that's our job as resellers.
We do. That's what we do. And as the sellers, again,
guess who else does it? Walmart, Best Buy, every retail location you've ever heard of, they negotiate for the lowest price they can get it at and sell it at the best price they can sell it at.
That's exactly it. But for some reason, people look at resellers in a different category. We're all like retail in the end. I mean, does that make sense? I mean, yeah, we're all the same as Walmart and all those places, Target. And
that's not a bad point. I'm going to stop calling myself a reseller. I'm a retailer.
Exactly. You're an online retailer.
Yep. That's it.
There you go. So wait, but you had said something about, I had mentioned that I'm trying to figure out like how to get the word spread, and you always have like, well, moderately to exceptionally good advice. We'll say.
I'm not sure on that.
What's your social media part?
Well, we've been dealing with our new site, the Vintage Thrifted site now, and we haven't really started doing a big marketing push because we're still kind of planning stuff out on that side.
Yeah.
But it really got us thinking about our social media presence and what we're doing on social media, on YouTube and Instagram and everywhere else.
Okay.
And
I'm going to take notes. I'm going to take notes.
A lot of what we're doing when we sat down and actually put it out on a whiteboard and thought it through doesn't make a lot of sense. And we really had to kind of step back and ask ourselves, like, why are we out there doing a YouTube channel or an Instagram channel that's just shouting to the world, we're resellers, we're resellers? What does that do for us in the end?
Okay.
Not a lot. It would do us much better if we switched gears and made a YouTube channel or Instagram accounts or Facebook or whatever that said, this is what we sell, rather than we resell. So we could actually make an Instagram account that, one of the ideas we had is we have, say pick a theme. We have Dolphins hat, like Miami Dolphins hats and coats and hat pins and jackets, like you name it. Like put that all together into one theme and say, this week we're dropping a Miami Dolphins package or whatever. A lot.
Okay.
And that's our theme for the week. And then we go promote the heck out of it on social media with the right tags and get people interested in buying this stuff.
Yeah.
And then promote it that way. So our social media really should be promoting our business, not promoting the fact that we own a business or we run a business. Who cares if you run a business?
Well, and I guess the audience that you're getting, a lot of us get, is other resellers. Well, they're all other resellers too.
Yeah,
and
they're not
you
buying
need to
from
capture. Me. Yeah, they're not. They may work a deal. They may get something from you occasionally, or go to your store. They watch your Grams of Pops channel, and they go to your store and go, "Oh, hey, I want to support. I want to buy this." But they're having to search that store to see, is there something that I want? Where I get what you're saying here. Where if they already knew what you had.
Right. Even occasionally we'll list, we'll put something on there that this is what we sold this week. And it might pique one of those resellers' interest and be like, I really like that. I want to buy it. Well, it's already sold. So everything we're doing on social media in terms of helping our business, our reselling business, we're doing bass backwards. Like it makes no sense to do that for our business. It's not helping our reselling business at all. I mean, unless you get to a certain point where you have 200,000 followers or something, and you could pull them over and push them into Whatnot or do auctions or something to your audience. But that's not where we ever wanted to get. That's not something we want to do. Yeah. It makes way more sense to curate an audience that actually wants the stuff we're selling.
Yes. Well, that fell more from the, moderately to exceptionally good advice, more towards the exceptionally good advice.
Well, it's more theoretical. Like we still have to do it. We have started sketching out a plan for what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. Obviously, we're everything sellers, so we have to figure out how we're going to do that as an everything seller. And it's harder, but I still think you can
Yeah.
do it. I mean, I think you just have to plan out your social media accounts accordingly. I think you do have to do theme drops. Like, what are we going to sell this week?
Yeah.
What kind of theme are we going to sell on this
Create
week?
that hype.
And
And then
we've been watching other Instagram accounts and stuff that actually do this. They're businesses,
okay.
like they have retail shops and they're doing this kind of thing and they're promoting
Yeah.
their items this way. Like that makes way more sense to me as a reseller than just promoting
Yeah.
the fact that I'm a reseller.
And yeah, and then you can start to promote like those days of the sales, because we all know, weekends are better. You're usually better for sales. Your shipping on Monday is usually a lot more than you're shipping on
Mm-hmm.
a Wednesday or a Tuesday morning or something like that. So if you're doing these themed drops, or even if they're not themed, if they're just, hey, these are some of the items that are going to be listed or go into our store or be up on Vintage Thrifted or wherever you're going to go, and they are on Tuesday at 5 o'clock,
Yep.
they drop.
You fill
That
up your slow
hopefully you're
times.
probably going to generate a few sales that day to make your Wednesday shipping a little
Mm-hmm.
bit better, to make that midweek sort of stuff. I like this idea. I'm
Yeah, just
my brain starts to spin every time Corey and I talk. My brain spins. It's either just delirious or whatever from just hearing
it's
him
not always a
ramble
good
on.
thing.
It
No,
is not.
I see it as a much more productive way to use your social media. And the thing I like about it the most is you don't have to be an eBay seller. The platform doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The platform is just where they go to make the transaction.
Yes.
So you can use social media and promote your items however you want to promote them, and then say this is where you buy it. You could sell them right on Instagram. You could sell them on
Yes.
YouTube. You could sell them on eBay, whatnot. It doesn't matter. But if you're going to have social media and put the kind of time into it that we put into social media, like
Yes.
especially like Teresa and I, we put a lot of time into social media on YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just think we're not using that time wisely. I don't think we're doing the right thing. Promoting Grams and Pops Vintage as a reseller, saying, telling the world we're resellers, that doesn't help us sell a thing.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Yeah, and to fine tune that. Well, it's my brain spinning because I was talking about the Ken versus 10 and how to get that out there, and I have different thoughts in my head of, am I doing this as like random polls where there's the excitement of what's next, what's in the box next, what's he going to pull out, what's on the table, what might I get in this show, to having the stuff already listed to where they know when they come in the show, then you get pre-bids on stuff you can get. So there's two schools of thought. But if I have that stuff ahead of time and I could say, hey, if you join me on the 10 p.m. show, look at that, this is the area that we're going. And if I know that, can plan ahead, I can start promoting it that way on social media. Hey, if you come to the show on Wednesday evening at 10 o'clock, boom, here's what you go. You can pre-bid now because it's already loaded. And
yeah, I've seen a few of the channels that are doing it well. And I really like the way that, and I think it would work for you too if you theme your shows that way, is they'll put out like 3-4 days before their sale drops, before the drop, they call it, I guess. They'll make a themed picture and say, this is our theme. So like for you, I'm thinking like all goth clothes, because that seems to be a theme that would fit you well. So do like an all goth show, and they pick 8 or 10 items, and they make a picture, like a collage of those 8 or 10 items, and they drop an all goth clothing drop. And it could be, your platform boots you like to wear. It could be like choke chains for dogs, like that the girls are wearing, or it could be all kinds of just weird, like earring gauges or whatever you call them, and then put that out on social media with the right hashtags to get to the right people. And then when you have your auction or your sale, or you send them to the platform, you have the people that actually want to buy that stuff, rather than somebody showing up that wants to buy something you would never do, like Christmas stuff. You don't want those people in your show.
Oh man. Yeah, because I mean, when you look at me, and the people that know me, I'm straight goth all the time when I'm not in Santa season. I mean, usually for the show, I have to take off, the black mascara and everything.
I was going to say, you guys have no idea how hard I have to harp on Ken to get him to take off his black fingernail polish for the show every time.
It's
Like, Ken, you forgot the
I,
fingernails.
I think, yeah, my demeanor would not go down the goth road. But I love that. That's great advice. That is, making my head think. If any, what opinions do people throw down in the chat,
It's
or not the
advice we're
chat, the
not taking
comments?
yet. So it is theoretical at this point,
Oh,
but it is we've been putting a lot of thought into it to the point where we're actually
yeah,
using the whiteboards. There's a big whiteboard right behind me up here or in front of me up here that
yeah.
we've been kind of
Oh,
planning
so
out what we want to do for next year.
I want to say something about that. You had told me when I did a Ken vs. 10 show here a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about how I'm having trouble getting not necessarily well motivated, but also organized. And I've got so many things going on right now. And I asked for, some advice. I'm struggling. What are you guys doing? And one of your things was to get a bigger whiteboard, to get it, because
Mm-hmm.
you flesh out everything on a whiteboard, just like you say. You and Teresa sit down with a whiteboard. You say,
I love our whiteboards.
here's an idea, we can erase that. Here's a idea, let's highlight that. So the other day, and then I was talking to Jill a little bit about all of these things that I have coming up and organizing that time. And we talked about the whiteboard. And and I have everything from my my small whiteboard. Shout out that I'd flip that over there, Joe, where I got my whiteboard. But I
That's
have
a
a
gateway
bigger one,
whiteboard.
and then I have like a big 4x8 whiteboard as
Mm-hmm.
well. Well, first of all, my house is so full of stuff. I have no wall to put it on. Not that there's stuff hanging on the walls, but I can't even get to the walls, like to get close enough to where I could write the stuff down. And then, but the one morning I would talk to Jill, and we were going over this. Says, yeah, get the whiteboard, because she's a very big advocate of writing stuff down. If it's
Yep.
like, oh, I could put all the stuff in my phone, but it's not the same as physically writing
It's
it.
not
Your
even close.
brain working and doing that. And I was like, yes, okay. Tomorrow, we were talking late at night. Tomorrow I'm going to do this. I'm getting my bigger whiteboard out. I'm going to find a wall. What first thing I'm going to do to do that is clear out an area where I can get to a wall. I decided on which wall I was going to do it. It's centrally located in the house, so I'm always going to pass by it. And then I'm like, oh yes, I'm jazzed. I went to bed, and then I got up the next day. I wasn't even motivated enough to get the whiteboard out to start writing on. So
You should
I
have
did
wrote
put some
get a
stuff on my
whiteboard
phone.
on your little whiteboard.
Yes, get the bigger whiteboard, and then on that one I would write get an even bigger one. But I have the whiteboards. But so what I did do though is I wanted to put the whiteboard in this one spot. I I spent that part of the day in the morning after I got up, organizing that area that was just all piled up, and I addressed, rather than just moving a box here or a bag or whatever that was there. I took the time. Let's get in the box and let's address every item that's in there. What platform am I selling it? Am I going to sell it? Is it stuff that I had bought, at Walmart and just still sitting in the bag that I haven't put away? So I did have a very good productive day that morning. I didn't get the whiteboard up, but I had a very good day of, I felt good at the end of the day. And every time you organize stuff or get into, the pile in the box, and let's address this. Okay, I'm going to put this over here. Oh, wait, I know that I have some of these other like sort of items. Let's move them over here. So that made that whole progression, in my house anyway, of cleaning stuff up. And so at the end of the day, although I didn't have anything listed, I didn't have anything photographed or organized and stuff, I felt really good about that day.
Yep.
And my little checklist that I had made on my phone, I was able to check a few things off. And now I've got an area where I can mount this whiteboard. And then I was busy the next couple of days and didn't have time to do that. But I
Tell you what,
am
if I wanted
ready
to
for
bring
that
my business to
organization.
a screeching halt and just put
You
us out
would
of business,
you
all
would
I
take
have to
advice
do
from
is
me.
put that or just pile stuff in front of my whiteboard. If I can't get to my whiteboard, we don't function. Like
Yeah.
before we moved to this house, my old office, we bought those 4x8 sheets of like bathroom wall that are just like a whiteboard.
Yes.
And we did all the walls in my office were whiteboard from floor to ceiling.
Okay.
And I loved that office and we used the crap out of it. But yeah, without the whiteboard, my brain doesn't work that way. If I don't write it down, and every time I write something down, we're planning something out, seeing it on the whiteboard, I come back later and I'm like, you could flesh those ideas out. It's basically like putting an idea down and then finishing that idea later because you don't forget about it. It's up on the board.
Yeah.
And we do that all the time. I mean, I couldn't, if anybody asked me the number one business tip, if you were going to start a business, I'd say start with a whiteboard.
There you go.
I mean, that's it. That's the most vital piece of my business is the whiteboard.
Yeah. Well, here's my problem. Okay, tell me if you get this. I'm even looking at my notes today that I jot stuff down. Corey and I talked, before the show, and it's like, oh, these are potential things. Do you ever write stuff down and go, well, I have no idea what the hell that meant? Like what is the note? Like you write a note and then later you come back and you're like, oh wait, I got the note, but I don't remember the thought behind the note.
So you're gonna pull this out. So the second most vital piece. Well, third. Second would be dry erase markers in bulk. Buy a lot of them because you need different colors because ideas are colorful and you can't just be black and white.
There you go.
Third most important piece of your business once you pass the age of 40 is get yourself on a regimen of those 1-a-day vitamins because the mind starts slipping.
So it's all about the supplements then. That's your third thing. So whiteboard, buy plenty of markers, supplements.
That's it. If you have that, you could pretty much do anything. Like you could build SpaceX tomorrow.
So I am working at that. I had some good days getting some stuff done, but I am going to put up the whiteboard because I have one that'll fit perfect and it's a good size. Well, the next thing is though, where it's at is it's not necessarily convenient. I like the fact when you're saying you're sitting there at your desk in your office, you can look right up at the whiteboard. And if it's not right there, I guess if I have to go to a location and stand there, I'm probably not going to do it as consistently or as much.
Yeah, if you have to stare at it because it's part of the wall and it's in front of you all the time, like pretty much in front of my desk here and my desk at the building. Yeah. My whiteboard is just like right there. I have to look at it. I see it all the time. And it turns unproductive time productive. Like I'll sometimes at the office when we're doing the escape rooms, I'm just sitting there. I'm not doing much. It's boring time. Yeah. Because Teresa's watching people locked in a room trying to figure out how to get out and I'm twiddling my thumbs. There's nothing to do. But when you have an idea up on the whiteboard, even if you're sitting there with your feet on the desk and you're watching Netflix and you peek up once in a while and see it, you're like, oh crap, I just had a new idea to go with that one. And you get up and write it down. Like having the whiteboard in front of you really makes you rethink ideas all the time, whether you want to or not. It makes your time way more productive.
Man, Corey, I'm a little bit concerned because this podcast, this episode is getting to be a little bit too informative. For our audience.
It's all bad advice. Like I want to be clear here.
Well, no, it's great. The whole thing about the social media and doing what you, promoting what you sell and not the fact that you just sell. I love that idea. And then, we
just even have that.
Something as simple as whiteboard talk.
I'll turn my camera around to the whiteboard here in one of these episodes. We even have we know what we want to do with social media in terms of why we want to do it that way. Yeah. Because we wanted to promote what we're selling to sell more items.
Yes.
But that's as far as we took the thought when we first thought about it. Okay. But since we've thought about it and we've kind of bounced it back and forth and we have it on the whiteboard, we now have on our whiteboard a year from now, where do we want that social media? Like how big do we want it and why? And what would we do with it at that size? And then we went backwards from there. Now that we know what this looks like at the end, how do we get there? And we built the steps backwards on the whiteboard. So we know where it's going to start. We know what it looks like in the middle. We have a plan on how to get there. And as that plan changes, the whiteboard will change. So we have it like a whole year's plan of social media out on a whiteboard and where we want to get and how to get there. But there's no way you could put that all in not in my head. My brain doesn't work that way. I couldn't store all that there.
Or, in my phone, once the screen goes off, it's out of sight. It's out of sight. I don't mind unless I go to that app or I keep the notes. Whatever, if the whiteboard is right there in your face, we should start. Okay, we're gonna start a new section on the show, much like on Ken versus 10, where I do what's Susan having for lunch today. We're gonna start a new segment on the podcast called "What's on Corey's Whiteboard," and then we'll go down that avenue. And
that would not be a productive use of a whiteboard because I would be drawing stuff up there that's probably not going to help me at all. I would just be doodling for the show then.
Well, this is true. You would want to have something fun and creative, and you
I could
probably
never do this stuff on my phone though. I mean, I'm like the old geezer with my phone. Like I use my phone for
yeah.
calling and texting and
Oh, so
posting
you're
on
the
social
one.
media and stuff. But other than that, like I don't do a lot with my phone. I don't do notes on my phone. I don't
Yeah.
have a lot of
Oh,
apps on
I
my
take
phone.
a lot of notes on my phone to remind me of stuff. I'll actually text myself like in the future. It's like, oh, remember this, at 8 o'clock tonight, you need to do such and such. And so I'll get my a text from myself.
I am
And
getting to the age now where I could get away with whenever I'm out with the kids, I could just call someone and put it on speaker and walk around Walmart. Like I'm getting
yeah,
to the age where I can get away with that now.
you're that guy too.
No, I
The
can't
guy
stand talking on
that's
speakerphone.
the guy there's always somebody in Walmart or at the store, or the people that are like in line in front of you at a at a restaurant or something like that, like a fast food, where you're at a counter, um and they're just on their phone. They're not paying one bit of attention to actually what's going on around them, and for
The
some
older I
reason
get, the more I'm convinced they're doing that just to mess with people. Like
I
they've reached the threshold of I don't give a
no, because
crap and they're
people
just
are
messing with you.
oblivious to what's going on. I'm not talking that it's an age thing. I'm talking people are oblivious to what's going on around them. And then, I don't need to hear the other person's. It's on speakerphone and they're holding up
Mm-mm.
the phone. And, people need to realize that there's a microphone in here. It's an amplified microphone. You don't have to yell into it the whole time and go, yeah, I'm going over to grandma's house. It's like, please just, and then you're holding me up because you're not paying attention to
No, they
what's
drive me
going on
crazy. But I think
around you. But,
it is fun to get to a certain age where you kind of have license to do that.
well, you're getting there, Corey.
I
I'm
know.
I'm I'm older than you, and I'm not there yet.
I'm just going
I'm
to get in front
very
of
aware of
people
my
that I don't
surroundings.
like and then do that
Okay.
just to mess with them. And it'll just be a weird phone call too. Like call your answering machine to talk to your dog or something. Like nothing
Yeah.
even.
We were talking about the whiteboards there and notes that you put down. And it's like, what was that about us? I have one that says the worst reseller. Uh
Me?
and at first, well, no, it's not about you. At first I thought it was, but no, but then I have a thing right here. So I had bought, this is, I don't know. I hope this person, I'm not going to show names or anything, but I bought an item on eBay the other day. It's a CD. And the okay, I hope that this person isn't doing their business like this, because this is horrible. But they have, I looked them up, they have like 16,000 sales or whatever on, so they must have been doing this for a while. So I buy a CD, which a lot of times as a CD you can send as media mail, right? Or sometimes it just works out and it's cheaper to send something like Ground Advantage. Okay, so
Yep.
those are kind of your options. So I look up this CD and they wanted I don't know, $6 or something for it. But they had best offer on it. Oh, it's $6 and free shipping. Okay. So I send them out an offer at like $3.50. Okay. So I'm not less than half or whatever, but I'm still there. And I'm figuring they might come back at $5, and I'll do that. I'll buy that for $5, but let's start here and see where we're at. I send the thing over, $3.50, free shipping. And, cha-ching, hey, you just bought this item. They accepted the offer.
Nice.
And I'm thinking, okay, cool. So then a couple days later, it comes in the mail,
Priority.
wrapped in one of these priority things. I marked out the label and stuff. But it's got the postal sticker on it, which means they went to the counter
They paid
at
retail.
the post office and they paid retail. Now, again, remember back at the first part of the story where I said it was free shipping, right? On this CD, look, I don't know if you can see this or not in there.
I can't make it out.
Okay.
Is that $11?
You can't make it. $11.35 they paid for this package of a CD that they took the offer. And now I know a lot of the CD, the media stuff can, it's like, how are people selling this stuff at 99 cents and free shipping? Well, it's because they basically have zero zero buy costs in and stuff. But
Well, even at zero buy
$11,
cost, you're still losing money at that. But
yeah.
I mean, there is a
How,
business model. There is a business model around that. I don't understand the priority shipping for $11. That doesn't like that's not good
no,
anywhere. But as a business gets a certain size, if you're doing bulk, if you're a bulk seller,
yeah,
you lose some efficiencies. I get that. And part of
yeah,
their business model is they have multi-quantity sales a lot. So they might sell one at 350, but if you buy two, you'll get another one for free. So a lot of their sales come in, people are buying 4, 5, 6 CDs.
yeah.
And that's kind of how they make their money. But for the occasional person that comes in and buys one CD and they ship it for $11 priority,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, and
that's just not good business at all.
how could you be at 16,000 sales and still taking your stuff to a retail counter at the post office? Now, this might not be their everyday thing, and it might have been in some certain circumstance where they had to, but that's just absolutely ridiculous. Well, I had along those
They
same
paid
lines.
you
I
like
had
$12 to take that CD
They
off their
did to
hands.
take this. It's just kooky. I'm not going to tell what the CD is because it might be a gift for somebody
Taylor
that
Swift.
watches. Oh, it is. That would be my own personal collection if it was. I helped out some folks the other day. I took some packages into my postal store, and so I had a couple of bags of them. And as I was coming out, there were some people sitting in the parking lot, and they asked me if I make stuff that I'm selling, if I, and I was like, well, no, this is all like, that was after a Whatnot show. So it was, all of that stuff. I was like, no, I resell, eBay, whatnot, that sort of stuff. And this is just a hodgepodge of things.
They think you were
Like,
an Etsy seller?
Well, they should have been, because they sell like t-shirts and stuff. They custom make t-shirts. And so the question was, they wanted to know if it was cheaper to go to the post office or if it was cheaper to go at this postal store, when buying the postage, because that's where they're buying the postage.
Print it.
I was like, okay, first of all, don't do that. Don't go to the retail counter to get anything. If you're selling any sort of quantity.
We just sold a Bonanza item.
Ooh, Bonanza picking up and getting hot.
$29 for a rainbow high doll on Bonanza. How about that?
Sweet. See?
I am now the second worst reseller.
After this person
After that guy, yep. I'm not shipping that priority retail.
Yeah. And that's what I was telling those folks out in the parking lot too. Don't do, and I passed along stuff like pirate ship, or if they are selling these things on eBay or any of the platforms, to print those labels through there, because you get the commercial rates for stuff. They didn't have a label printer or anything like that. And I suggested, some label printers, or if you just have a printer, print it out and tape it on there. Yep. You're going to save so much money. And it was number one, it was cool to be able to pass along some of the knowledge that I have about things. And they were very receptive to, even though the whole time they were sitting in a car eating their breakfast sandwiches, and digging into the bag and stuff, but they were listening and being receptive to some of the knowledge I was dropping on them. And they seemed, very excited about those opportunities to save on the postage.
I mean, that's the thing with anything. You don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
And just those little things. And that seems like such a minor thing, but that's such a huge thing in terms of money throughout a year, if you're getting serious about it. But if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could ever sell on eBay and not know, because just the eBay rates are cheaper. Like, just ship it through eBay. But
yes,
I mean, if you're just starting out selling your own thing, you're making a widget.
Yeah.
Like, why would you know that? There's no reason.
And that's what they were doing. A lot of it was Facebook, Facebook sales and stuff like that. And so they seem very excited to hear that, because their question was, they were trying to dig into me and go, hey, is it cheaper to go to this retail counter or this retail counter? And then when I started talking about, depending on the package and the weights and all that stuff, you're going to save 20, 30, 40% with commercial rates. And and some
That
of those
scares a
things
lot
you
of
can
people,
pass
though.
along to, if you're buyers and you have regular buyers and regular customers that are used to, you charging them $8 shipping or whatever it is, and you can get it, through printing label through, say, a Pirate Ship or any of the ones. We're not affiliated with Pirate Ship. However, if they want to send us along some money for mentioning them, we would appreciate that.
Yeah, that'll happen.
New sponsorship. The I don't what was I talking about, Corey?
I wasn't listening.
I wasn't either. Well, just that pass along Pirate Ship or anything like that they can go, and it was like I opened up a whole new world to them of
Yep.
stuff, because like I said, you don't know when you don't know. But they thought they were gonna, get a little bit of insight to save themselves a little bit of money. And it's like, I know I
Well,
filled
and
the brain standing there.
they just made a leap forward in their profit line too.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when we first started doing e-commerce and we got our first chargeback on a credit card purchase that somebody bought from us, and then they disputed it with their credit card company.
Yeah.
Like, to us, that was the end of the world. It just meant that, and it was like a $900 item. So it just meant we were out the money and out the item. And we didn't know what to do with that. And then we educated ourselves on it and figured out that, oh, the chargeback isn't the final word. We don't have to lose that money. We can actually just send them an invoice. Just because the credit card company said, we agree with you, we don't think you should have to pay it, doesn't mean they don't have to pay it. They still have to pay it. They have an item. There's the terms of service that we were using. So until you run into it, until you know,
Exactly.
you don't know.
Yes, I agree. There. Maybe that's the title of the episode. You don't know what you don't know. Yeah.
Well, that could apply to pretty much every episode we do.
Okay, that's true, because we don't even know what we're going to talk about before. Or, paid to eat crow. I think that, more of a dig on Corey is a good title.
There you go.
Anyway, you got anything else? I'm done. I have nothing else to talk about today.
No, I showed up for this episode an hour early, so I'm extra eager to get out of here. Like, my whole day's ruined. And I gotta go deal with this whole time change thing. Now it's dark when I wake up, and it's dark when I get off work.
It's painful.
It's the dark season.
It is painful. Did you see me write down the dark season? That's good.
The dark season.
The dark season. Yep. I'm good. Everybody have a good week, and that's it.
We'll see you next time.
We're just gonna end it right now. Just almost like a cliffhanger. We're going to just end the recording, and I got